Wait, if you click on this video, then you might want to know how I created this amazing social media poster using Photoshop. Well, in this video, I'll show you the step-by-step process. My name is Naim, and if you are new to this channel, make sure to watch the video till the end. Let's create. So here are we in the Photoshop. Now I'm going to create a new artboard. So now we have created our artboard. This is our main subject. I'll provide all of the images in the description so that you can practice as well. So for our project, I'll choose a new background color. For that, I'm going to the adjustment layer and I'll choose solid color. Then from here, as you can see, there is an eyedropper tool. I'll pick a color from our main subject. I'll choose a dark orange color. Okay, this color is looking good. I'm going to delete this layer. Okay, now I'm going to resize our main subject. Now I'm going to resize our main subject and rotate it like this. Okay, this looks good. Now I'll add this image of orange peel. For that, I'll take only this part of the image. For that, I have to remove the rest of it. So how to do that? For that, go to the mask layer. As you can see, there is a mask layer over here, new mask layer. Click on it. And as you can see, we have a new mask layer. Now press B for the brush tool and press X. As you can see, the color has been changed to black. The black means to delete the part that we don't need. Press X again for white to reveal the part again. I hope you understand. Okay, now we have kind of this. I'll rotate it and make it a little bit bigger. Okay, as you can see, something is missing. I'm going to restore some of the part. Press X again. Take your time and refine it. Okay, I have adjusted just like this. Now as you can see, there is some part left. What you can do, you can remove it. Now I'll press Ctrl J to duplicate it. As you can see, we have a duplicate of our layer. I'm going to rotate it just like this and place it somewhere over here. I'll make it a little bigger. Okay, now I have adjusted it just like this. Now I have this image of orange. I'll add these oranges to our project. For that, I'll pick this orange. Go to the selection panel. Now from here, I'll choose quick selection tool. You can select this whatever way you want. Now I'm using this tool. You can select this also with pen tool. Okay, now press Ctrl J to duplicate this. Only this part will remain. Took that image and now we can place it over here. Exactly same way, I have took all of these oranges from different images. I'm going to place it to their position. Okay, now I have set these oranges just like this. This is looking good. Now I'll add water splash in the background. I'll put it behind of our main subject, but for now I'm going to remove this black background. We have to go to the blending option and then screen. Now drag this layer down to this. I'll drag all of these three so that water will remain in the back. Now I have to remove these edges. This is not looking that good. Make sure the brush hardness set to max. Okay, the same way I have added another image of water over here. Okay, now again from this image I'll pick this orange. Now we can put this image just like this. Okay, from this image I'll choose this. Now just simply drag or drop it. It is a really big image, and I'm going to put it just over here. I'm going to increase the size of it. Now I'll add blur to these images. Go to filter, then blur, and then Gaussian blur. As you can see, it is blurred out totally. You have to reduce the blurriness. Okay, this looks good. The same way I'll apply blur to this image. Okay, we have set everything perfectly. Now we have to adjust the contrast and brightness and shadows so that it will look realistic. For that, first of all, I will start with this image. Now I'm going to adjust the brightness and contrast to all of these images so that it will blend with the project perfectly. For that, go to the adjustment layer and then curves. In the curves, I'll drag this slider. Make sure press Alt to clip it so that it won't affect to our rest of the layers. I'm going to dark it a little bit, just like this. Okay, this is looking good. So to add a lighting effect, I have chose this image, drag it and increase the size of it. Okay, now go to the blending option to blend it. Let's see which one look good. Okay, linear dodge add is looking good. Okay, again, okay, so we have add a light effect to our project. Now as you can see, the light is coming from the left side. Now we have to add some highlights to all of these and shadows. So for that, create a new layer and clip it to this. I have clipped the new layer to this image. Now for the highlights, press B and select the white color and make sure the flow is decreased. I'll decrease the flow. This is good. Okay, now just simply brush over here. As you can see, we have a problem. The brush stroke is not that good. For that, what we can do over here, we'll reduce the brush spacing. As you can see, reduce the brush spacing, it will fix the problem. Now reduce the flow and decrease the hardness. You have to understand where the light is hitting, so that way you have to draw lights, highlights, so that it matches with the sequence. I'm going to darken it a little bit. I'm going to remove it from the top. Okay. Now I'll do the same thing with this also. Don't worry, it is looking a little too harsh right now. So to remove the harshness, select this layer, go to filter, blur, and then Gaussian blur. As you can see, I'll increase the blur. Okay, the same way I'll also do with this. Okay, this is looking good. Now we have to add a shadow. Get a new layer and clip it to this. Go to filter and then blur, Gaussian blur. Okay, now as you can see, our main subject is looking a little bit dull. For that, what we can do, we'll do select the levels, adjustment layer, make sure to clip it, and then try to blend with it. Okay, this is looking good. Now I'll add another new layer. Okay, now I'll create another adjustment layer. Now I'll darken this. Don't worry, press Ctrl I to invert, and then press B for the brush tool, and I'll brush over here, darken the part. Okay, now create another new layer and we'll draw highlights over here. Make sure decrease the flow. And draw it gradually. Okay. Okay, now we have adjust our layers. Now we have to add a shadow. I have added a shadow over here. Now to add a shadow, as you can see, it is the light is coming from the right, so the shadow must be over here, right? So we have to now to add a shadow, simply create a new layer. This B with the brush tool, select the black color and draw some dark shades on it. Okay, now the same way I'll add a shadow over here. Okay, now we have added shadow. Now as you can see, there is no motion to it, so to add a little bit motion, what we can do, select this layer and then filter, blur, motion blur, to add a motion blur effect. So as you can see, there is a motion blur added. Now it is looking too much. Okay, the same way I have applied this effect to all of this. Now we are almost done, but now I'll add a text effect. For that, I'll select a new layer and then drag a text box over here. So for the font, I'm choosing Dharma Gothic E. I'll type, let's say Pamir Cola. For now, I'll select this. Okay, I'll add it over here. I'll increase the size of it. Now I'll add a gradient and shadow. For that, double click over here and then drop shadow. Now go to gradient overlay, and now I have choose this color, white, and I have put this in the middle. Okay, now the background of our main subject is looking a little bit dull. Okay, so what we can do, we can add a glowing effect to it. For that, I'm going to create a new layer and then press B for the brush tool. I'll pick a bright yellow color. Now add a outer glow. Okay, this is looking good. So we are almost done. Now we are almost done. Select this two layer and I'll add a adjustment layer to it. The levels needed. The same way I'll apply to this. So Alt to clip it. Okay, now this is looking good. Now here comes the interesting part. As you can see, there is no glowing effect to our project, right? It's looking a little bit dull. Now to add a glowing effect, what we can do is to create a new layer and then press Ctrl Alt Shift E to merge all of this layer to one layer. Now what we can do is to go filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and then I'll increase the blur until the text disappears. Don't overdo it. Okay, now and press Ctrl L for the levels. We are not creating another new layer. We are going to directly apply this level adjustment layer to that. Increase the brightness slider, contrast slider. Okay, now go to blend option and select soft light. So as you can see, there is a vibrant and glowing effect to our project, which is looking already really good. But now I'm going to remove it from certain area. For that, go to mask, press the brush tool, and the same way I'm going to remove it. So I'll remove it somewhere from here. Make sure to decrease the flow. Okay, now finally we have done our project. Now it's looking really good. As you can see, after applying the gloom effect, we have come to this. So I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new from this. I tried to keep it as simple as possible. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Till then, peace out.